Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of I Was There Last Night, because I was there last night. Don't believe me? Here's the ticket. Ugh, smells like weed. Last night, May 11th, at Red Rocks Amphitheatre in Morrison, Colorado, I saw Opeth and Gojira featuring the Devin Townsend project. I've been dreading this show for a few days because it has been pouring rain and Red Rocks is outside and they will play no matter what. But you could not have asked for a nicer night, complete with a near full moon during Opeth's set. That's almost like too perfect. What's the catch? I guess it was perfect until the wind blew in and it got really fucking cold. So the first band up of the night was the Devin Townsend project. Now I've lost track of Devin Townsend over the years just because I wasn't a huge fan of Strapping Young Lad. But after seeing this set, I definitely regret that fact because it was amazing. It's the same funny Devin Townsend I remember from seeing Strapping Young Lad so many years ago, but he has a remarkable singing voice on top of his excellent guitar playing. Their music is heavy for sure, but there's plenty of passion in it as well, a lot of emotional moments. A couple songs that I really dug were Failure and Kingdom, and March of the Poozers was probably my favorite of the night. That was just a fun song. It was also great to see just how excited the crowd was for them. Again, I haven't followed them that much, so I don't know how popular they are, but I could definitely tell the crowd was into it. They knew the songs, they were really enjoying it. And definitely goes to show you what kind of showman Devin Townsend is, especially during their 3-guitar gun-down finale where they just line up and you know that whole thing. It was just an excellent set, and it certainly makes me curious about exploring their catalog even deeper. The next band up was Gojira. Now, I had a chance to see Gojira last year when they came through town, but I did not ultimately go to that show, and suffice it to say, this was definitely an appropriate setting to experience their show for the first time. Now, despite a brief technical hiccup before playing Stranded, the band sounded superb in front of the Red Rocks. The highlight of the night definitely had to be Mario Duplantier's drumming. He had a crazy drum solo toward the end of the set. Now, I missed some of it because I had to pee, but I also want to give a huge shout out to the girl in the next stall who gave me some toilet paper. Metal is love. I also really love Christian Andrew's guitar work. Now, they're a very technical band, so you get a lot of variety in the sound, and it just sounded great against the Red Rocks. But most importantly, you can really feel their music, as well as the heat from the fireballs. They had a good mix of old and new songs, but a majority of them came from Magma. They played songs like Backbone, Silvera, L'Enfant Sauvage, The Shooting Star, just to name a few that were great. My favorite, though, probably had to be Flying Whales, which is one they definitely put a lot of effort into early in the set. I thought it was an amazing performance. It's a great song, but the performance around it was just phenomenal. I don't know what else to say. It was just an absolutely awesome set from a band I had not yet seen, so I was very excited to see them for the first time, and they definitely delivered, especially in that setting. It just felt too perfect. It was awesome. And then to close out the night was a little Swedish band called Opeth. Now, I'll admit it, the thought had crossed my mind that I would never hear Michael growl again, because he is so good at it. But that was quickly allayed when they followed up the opening song Sorceress with Ghosts of Perdition off of Ghost Reveries. You have no idea how happy I was to hear them play Ghosts of Perdition. They could have played any song off of Ghost Reveries and I would have lost my shit, but that one was awesome. From there, it was just a slew of new and old hits from the band. And of course, there's no way they would be able to play everything I'd want. Their catalog is just too big. Like I said, I want them to play Ghost Reveries or Still Life or Morning Rise. I want them to play all of that stuff, but they wouldn't, because that's a lot of music. One thing that has always drawn me to this band is their mix of slow and fast tempo within the songs. So playing songs like Heir Apparent and Demons of the Fall makes them even more intense when they're playing them live. Åkerfeldt and Fredrik Åkesson were both shredding on guitar. Åkerfeldt is such an amazing guitarist, but you can't ignore Åkesson's amazing guitar work as well. And then Joakim Svalberg was also keeping things really fun on the keyboard. It's hard to tell sometimes where the keyboard really has the impact in the music, but when you see it live, then you know, okay, that's really where Svalberg is shining in these songs. So like I said, a couple of great songs they played. Demons of the Fall, Deliverance. They closed with Deliverance. They played Cusp of Eternity off of Pale Communion. Some of the stuff from the new album, like Sorceress, were great, as well as Era and The Wildflowers. Just great tracks for them to choose as well as to play live. Even The Devil's Orchard, which I thought was kind of an interesting pick, was a lot of fun to hear them play. I'll admit, Heritage is not one of my favorite albums, but hearing The Devil's Orchard live was a great choice. Of course, they slowed it down a little bit with In My Time of Need from Damnation, which definitely got the crowd involved, got them singing along. That didn't stop me and other people from growling during the rest of the songs, though. My favorite, though, of the night had to be Heir Apparent, because it is my favorite song from Watershed, but it's also just insanely fun live. It's one of those songs that you know, when you hear it live, it is just going to get crazy. Now, it is Red Rocks, so metal shows at Red Rocks are always a bit iffy for me, because I would love to see a pit, but to be fair, this really was the perfect venue for Opeth to unleash their remarkable music upon Colorado, and I think the fans last night would definitely agree with that sentiment. overall, you know what you're going to get when you go to Red Rocks. You're going to get a shit ton of stairs, and everyone is downwind from smoke. But you also get an arena-sized crowd in a beautiful venue overlooking Denver. And it helps when the bands show up and deliver some killer tunes like they did last night. Now granted, there were some minor technical blips, which has seemed to have been a trend at Red Rocks recently, but those were afterthoughts on the night. The real impact of the night was the music, was the amazing music and the interaction with the crowd. Opeth shined as I expected they would, like the dark moonlight. And Gojira absolutely crushed it, but they both got a great setup from the Devin Townsend project. So this was a great set. This was an awesome tour to have these three bands playing together. I think these three bands fit really well together, and so this tour just not only made sense, but it made for a really exciting, really entertaining night. And that's what you're looking for. Beautiful night, spectacular music, good friends. I deem it a success. If you were at the show, let me know your thoughts on the set list that you heard. Let me know your thoughts on Opeth, Gojira, Devin Townsend project. I know there was a mix of all the fans, so if you were there, let me know what songs you really enjoyed. And if you weren't there, hopefully you'll enjoy these little clips of the night. And that does it for this episode of I Was There Last Night, and I'll see you guys on Monday. I got a few more shows coming up, and I am super excited about it. So until then. Hey, you made it to the end of the video. Nice work. Good job. If you like what you saw, you can just go ahead and click that subscribe button for all videos past and future. You can also head over to my website and see all the other stuff that I do, including the books I've written. So go ahead, click stuff.